Good afternoon, Miss Michelle Longui.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Michelle, can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Michelle Longui, married, have one daughter.
I have a few questions for you to answer, so let's start.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you want to work as a maid?
For saving money for the future of my baby.
Okay, why did you choose Malaysia when there are a lot of other countries?
Because it's near from the Philippines, ma'am.
Why are you qualified for this job?
I will work hard.
Okay, may I know your educational attainment?
College graduate, ma'am.
What is your recent work experience?
Cashier, ma'am.
Have you worked in abroad before?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any experience of taking care of babies or elder people?
Yes, ma'am. My own baby.
Okay. Do you have any other special skills?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to learn new skills?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to work in a family where the mother-in-law or any relatives are staying together?
Yes, ma'am.
Currently, are you still working now?
No, ma'am.
Do you know how to cook?
Yes, ma'am.
What sort of food can you cook?
Filipino food, ma'am.
Are you aware that you will do washing, cleaning, ironing, and cooking?
Yes, ma'am.
From all the household chores, which do you like the most?
Ma'am, repeat.
Again, from all the household chores, which do you like the most?
Cooking, ma'am.
If ever you were selected to work in Malaysia, who will take care of your kids?
My parents, ma'am.
Okay. You are not allowed to use handphone during working hours.
Yes, ma'am.
You are only allowed to use handphone after you have finished all the works and when you're going to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
You are strictly needed to surrender the handphone to your employer in the morning, and your employer will return it to you once you're going to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
If ever your employer finds out that you're abusing the use of your handphone and it's affecting your work performance, your employer will confiscate your handphone and you will not be allowed to hold it anymore. Instead, your employer will allow you to call your family 3 times in a month. You're only allowed to bring normal phone and you're not allowed to bring smartphone. Do you agree in these terms and conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree on the rules and regulations for the handphone?
Yes, ma'am.
How many years is a contract as you agreed and understood?
2 years, ma'am.
Can you describe to me your ethics?
Hardworking, ma'am. Finish my contract for my family.
Okay. How can you assure to us that you will work hard in Malaysia? Again, Michelle, how can you assure to us that you will work hard in Malaysia?
I will do everything, ma'am, to
Okay.
make my work good well.
Okay. Can you promise not to use the telephone without the permission of your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you promise not to put on makeup and dress properly while working?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you promise not to invite friends and relatives without the consent of your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you promise not to ask for advance salary from your employer under any circumstances?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you really understand the rules and regulations of the agency?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay any placement fee for you to come to Malaysia to work as a maid?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any history of sickness, example, breast cancer, or any other illness?
No, ma'am.
Did you suffer from any skin diseases, allergy, or physical defect?
No, ma'am.
Have you suffered from any serious illness?
No, ma'am.
Have you undergone any operation?
Yes, ma'am.
What operation?
CS operation on cesarean.
Okay. Are you medically fit?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in any medication?
No, ma'am.
Are you allergic to any food?
No, ma'am.
Are you prepared to work for the employer of any race?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you prepared to eat the type of food taken by your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of being left alone in the house?
Repeat, ma'am.
I repeat, are you afraid of being left alone in the house?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid of dogs or other pets?
No, ma'am.
Can you promise to work according to the instruction of your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any immediate family working in Malaysia?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Michelle, we have finished our question section. Let's go to the case study. I have case study for you and I want you to answer me truthfully. Upon arrival in Malaysia, within 6 months, if ever any of your family members passed away, what will you do? Will you continue to work until you finish your contract or will you go back?
I will finish my contract, ma'am, because from the start, I know my obligation and policies.
Okay, tell us about yourself and why do you want to work in Malaysia as a domestic helper?
Ma'am, I'm Michelle Longui, married, have one daughter.
Okay.
I work in Malaysia for the future of my baby and my family.
Okay, Miss Michelle, what do you want to tell to your employer who is watching your video?
Mom, please choose me. I will work hard.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Michelle. We will update to your agency if there is any selection made by the employer.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.